when you look at the change to multilateral funding and you look at the opportunity for Georgia, in concrete terms, do you think that this initiative, the idea of a Silk Road and the idea in practical terms of an Asian infrastructure investment bank will make a meaningful difference in Georgia?
Thank you very much. Dear friends, distinguished audience, I'd like to thank you for inviting us today. First of all, I have to say that this is my first trip to China and to Dalian. So it's an opportunity for me to be here and talk about this great idea of the new Silk Road concept. We very much support this idea, and I want to talk to you about Georgia's role into this process. First, I have to say that we have great relationship with China. Georgia and China has been developing strong ties, and historically. And last year, the biggest investor in Georgia was from China, by the way. And FDI grew by 143% from China to Georgia. So we're developing great relationship. So China is fourth largest trade partner for Georgia, for us. So therefore, it is of great importance for us to have strong ties with this country. And I very much support the visionary initiative of the Chinese president. I mean the New Silk Road, One Belt, One Road concept. And as you know, Georgia, with the strategic location, can play a very significant role. What I mean, you know that Georgia has proved over the last 10 years or 20 years that we are a reliable transit country. We're growing our economy, we're building democratic institutions, we're strengthening democratic institutions. The business is absolutely free, the media freedom, in terms of media freedom, business freedom, we're number one in the region, in the wider region, I would say. And I want to say a few words about Georgia's recent achievements, and then I'll continue about the Silk Road and Georgia's role into this project. Last year we signed the association agreement with the European Union. We have free trade with the European Union. We have free trade with CIS countries, including with Russia, with Turkey. And now I want to launch negotiations about free trade with China. I will have a meeting with the Chinese Prime Minister tomorrow, and we're going to discuss about the opportunities that exist in our region. When it comes to the Silk Road and Georgia's role as a transit country, it can be interesting in many senses. One thing that I want to mention is that we have proved that we are, as I mentioned, we are a reliable transit country for energy, for transport, and we have an ambition to transform our country into a logistic hub. We would like to build a new port, a new deep sea water port with 100 million tons per year. This port will be built in 7 phases. And then there's a strong interest from the Chinese companies who want to be part of this project. We have launched negotiations about the infrastructural projects, such as the construction of roads, bridges, and etc. We're talking about several billion-dollar investments in Georgia. You know that Georgia fully supports the creation of AIIB, and I have to tell you that 2 weeks ago there was a meeting of the founding countries, and representatives came from 50 different countries, and they elected officially the president. By the way, I want to welcome the leadership of this bank. I'm sure that this will be very successful for the region. And I strongly believe that there's a huge potential in this region. the region which has 60% of the world population, if I'm not wrong, and with lots of untapped resources.
Can I just ask you, Prime Minister, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to ask you just about the port example.
Yes.
Because a very concrete example, a very substantial one, clearly it would fit that Georgian ambition of becoming a logistics hub. Is it the case that having an Asian investment partner changes the politics of it as regards Russia, as regards having a US or what would appear to be a US investment partner? Is that one of the attractions for a country like Georgia of this new financial investment architecture?
Well, particularly in this port, I think there is a strong interest from some American companies, also, as I've told you, from Chinese companies, and according to, as far as I understand, they have interest to do this port, to realize this project together. So I think, well, our interest is to make Georgia a place of peace, a center for logistics, trade, and this is our historical mission, I would say.
I guess my question is, does it depoliticize within Georgia, given the relationship with Russia? It would depoliticize, okay.
And I want to tell you that Georgia can be a very effective country in terms of transit of goods from China. And I want to give you an example. The first train from China came to Georgia in 9 days. It happened several months ago. It was the first test train. It means that this will actually shorten the period. We're going to, how to say, reduce the time, and we're going to reduce the, how to say, distance by 7,000 kilometers. It's about saving the money. It's about saving the time, and therefore I think Georgia can be a very attractive and the shortest route for China. And in general, to connect Asia to Europe. This is the shortest route. So therefore, I think that Georgia can play a very constructive and reliable role into this project.